Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227. Or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, Dr. Davis. How you doing this morning?
You're blessed.
I can tell you're blessed because you've really been blessing others.
Oh, praise all.
You've been blessing others all morning.
Thank you, Lord.
It's been a wonderful thing.
What's going on before this morning?
Well, you know, the trial of George Zimmerman is still, the jury has it.
Oh, yes.
We got to talk about it. We got to find out what people feel. See, I'm not an idealist. I'm a realist. I don't know if the state proved this case, but I do know this one thing. White America knows good and well that this man did this, and they know he's guilty.
But you know, that I saw a lot of statements. I read a lot of statements where white citizens want to convict him.
Yeah, but there's a group. Yeah, and they do. But there's a group that's trying to hold up for this guy Zimmerman. First of all, had he not approached this young man, the young man would still be alive.
Yeah.
Let's start with the basic premise of this whole thing. The saying, if I see you coming down the street, I say, that fella don't have any business in my neighborhood. I approach you, and we get into a confrontation, and I kill you. Had I never approached you, I wouldn't kill you.
Right.
Let's start with the basic premise of this whole thing. So we're going to talk about that this morning, so everybody can get ready, because, you know, I wonder, when I looked at those stats and saw that we only had 3,600 people, black people in the state of Texas with a concealed handgun license.
Well, I don't
That's
have
775,000 whites.
I'll be honest with you, Rev Barnett. I don't have no handgun license, but if you come in my house, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but see the thing about it may not be at your house. And see, believe me, this trial is going to be a referendum.
Yes, sir.
On how people are going to react to us throughout this nation.
Yes.
They take things like this and make referendum. So I tell people, hey, go get your concealed handgun. I hate the law. I hate they allowed this to begin. But you see what's happening with this. These concealed handguns. I said this right here on this show over the years when they first started trying to pass these concealed handgun laws. We're going to end up with a lot of folk getting killed behind this mess.
All right, we definitely will be listening at 7 o'clock.
All righty.
You invite them to church right quick.
Yes, everybody's welcome to come to Heavenly Joy Church. We're located at Bruton and Masters, right there in the Pleasant Grove area. Service beginning at 11 o'clock, morning worship. Sunday school, 9:30. Everybody come out and have yourself a great time praising the Lord. So we'll be right there loving you. All righty.
Well, that's Rev Marion Barnett. He'll be coming up at 7 o'clock with Church News and Community Forum. You don't dare miss it. We get ready to step aside. Rev Jeffrey.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Take a pity, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep. Time to make the change. Here we go. We are the people who can do it. Oh yeah. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
Yep.
We need to stand up and fight, walk into the light. We're the people, we can do it if we try.
Well, we'd like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. And we've got a lot of things to talk about. A little bit more. Yes, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things going on. Yes, there's just so much going on. And we're going to talk about the George Zimmerman's trial. Believe me, we're going to talk about that this morning. But there are other things. I looked, I didn't see any messages there in my box this morning. And we just hopefully we can get around to those who have messages and want to call. But you can call us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Well, what do you think? The jury has the case. The jury is now deliberating. They will start within an hour at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 o'clock our time here in Dallas, and we'll be there watching and listening and doing things and wondering. But I want to know, what do you think? What do you think? What's going on? What's going on? Why do you think this dog and pony show was really put on? I just cannot understand why there is so much contemplating of him not being able to be convicted of a number 2 felony. He's probably, at best, he might get manslaughter and all of this. This is utterly ridiculous. White America knows, they know, that this man is guilty of killing this boy. They know this young boy. They know he's guilty. They know he did it. They know he's lying. Lying. Telling one lie to cover up another. Then he forget about it, then he have to tell another lie. He's lying, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Well, they're saying, well, the state didn't prove his case. Well, one thing the state didn't have to prove, he killed the boy. Had he not approached this young man, this would have never happened. None of this would have ever happened. But no, because he pursued him and targeted him as an African American. I don't know why the judge ruled in that manner to say that race could not be an issue. This is about race. Had Trayvon been a young white boy going through the same neighborhood, Zimmerman would have never targeted him, never would have bothered him. But because he was an African American, he targeted him, followed him, chased him, killed him. And when we see talking about, well, he had said earlier, even the DA, not the DA, but the defense attorney said African Americans had broken into some of the houses over there, had burglarized some of the houses. Well, what are you saying? If one African American did it, it makes all African Americans guilty? What are we saying? Just because you have a racist white, do we consider all white people racist and evil? It's an obvious answer, no. But if one black do something, you're saying all blacks are guilty? Come on, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Let's be for real. And people, you better wake up. This trial is a referendum on justice in America. Small town in a southern state, but don't let region fool you. Los Angeles is not in the deep south. Philadelphia not in the deep south. Detroit is not in the deep south. Other cities where they've railroaded African Americans allowed whites to get away with killing African Americans weren't in the deep south. This is a referendum on justice for African Americans in America. It's a referendum. If he walks, if he gets away, or given a little tap on the wrist. Oh my God. This is why I say you need every African American who can get a concealed handgun license. You need one. You need to protect yourself. Women, you definitely need them to protect yourself. You need protection. We need protection. It is sad that people hate this much in 2013. And no use you shaking your head and bury your head in the sand. It's true. It's there. It's time to deal with reality. You get nowhere pretending that it don't exist. It does. It exists. It exists in America. Deepest hatred on earth is in America. Deep hatred by a segment of white America, but that segment is much larger than you think. Many will tell you they're not racist, but they are. Many will tell you that they don't have a prejudice bone in their body, but many have. Too many. Sure, there are some decent ones, but there are many still have that deep-rooted hatred in them. Many of them love to join law enforcement organizations, police departments, state troopers, sheriff departments, constable departments. They love to join these where they can really badger you with the law on their side. Now, this guy here wasn't even qualified to be a policeman on a little small town police force. He couldn't even qualify for that. He wanted to be a policeman so bad. He wanted to be something that he could not qualify for. But he was able to get a concealed handgun license. Bear in mind now, he could shoot. And one of the reasons why this thing is going so is because he had a concealed handgun license that had been given to him by the state of Florida. And remember, the police department did not want to arrest this guy. He was not charged with anything until 44 days after the murder of Trayvon. The only reason why he was arrested was because of black radio talk shows, keeping and pushing. Remember, the so-called main media wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't touch it. But it was the persistence of black radio talk show hosts pushed this particular thing and pushed it so that the main media had to deal with it. And once the main media dealt with it, then they had to go in. The state of Florida had to come in. That township there where he is, they never did anything. They weren't going to do anything. But it was the state of Florida had to come in because of so much pressure. Then African American conventions. Let's get African American church conventions. Other conventions have said no. We're going to cancel going into Florida if this guy is not brought to trial. If charges are not brought against this guy Zimmerman, organizations are going to pull millions and hundreds of millions of dollars out of Florida. Pressure came on for them to deal with this particular situation. So why would we not want to protect ourselves? I don't know what's going to happen. Many say they believe he's going to get manslaughter. Some say he might get murder in the second degree. I think at least the second degree should. I'm going to tell you why they believe it. They believe it because they know in the depths of their heart that this guy is guilty. They know if he's turned loose, there will be many angry people. I don't think the people are going to riot. Uprising, I don't call it a riot because riot has a negative connotation. People, everybody gets tired of being stepped on and pushed down. Everyone gets tired of being knocked down. stepped on. And when a child cannot go to the store and come home safely, go to the store and get some Skittles and some, I think this is iced tea or something like that, Arizona tea. If he can't go to the store and come home safe, go to the store and lose his life, come on now. Some of you have children, many of you have children. You can't send your child to the store, allow your child to go to the store and come back home and watch a basketball game. If you can't do that, and then you got to deal with some clown accusing thinking just because he's black, can't say anything about the hoodie. It was raining, and even if it wasn't raining, the hoodie is not against the law. Just because he's seen and he's black and he loses his life. Come on now, what do you think is going on in America? Do we get justice in America? Will we ever get justice in America? And let me tell you who's going to be the main target. Those of you who think you're middle class or middle class, who have clothes and nice cars and have things going for you, you're going to be the target. You're going to be the target. Why you say that? Well, I'm telling you, because they know that you're the one that's not packing. It's not going to be so much that fella running around with his pants hanging down his knees and going up and down the streets and doing different things. They have to respect him because they know there's a good chance he's packing. But they see you with your briefcase, your suit, and everything. They know you're not packing because they have the stats of how many African Americans have the concealed handgun. They know you're not packing because there aren't many of us who have that concealed handgun license. They know you're not packing. You're going to end up being the target. Mark what I tell you. I've lived too long to know better. I know what they're going to do if this thing is not done right. And even if it is done right, we're going to be the targets here in America. We're going to be the targets. We're still the targets. We've always been the targets of the police department and others, to hanging different things like that. But legalized shooting, stand your ground. We're going to be the targets. All they got to know they can say is, I was protecting myself. I was standing my ground. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Robert. Alrighty. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Rev Doctor. How you doing?
Fine. You doing all right this morning?
Fine. I think we're going to wake up as a people, really, what's happening. I hope we do. But, from last Thursday to Saturday in Chicago, 67 people were shot and 11 was killed. I think it's a smokescreen when you look at really what's happening to black people all over America and what we're doing to each other, along with the racism, going through this trial and what they're saying, how they could show that, hey, we could kill him and just say, hey, this was just a black kid and he was black and in the wrong place, wrong time, and we're innocent. But Rep, when you look at the conspiracy of what's happening to us all over America, and especially Dallas, Texas. I mean, this is one of the most racist city in America. Mm-hmm. When I was told the other night in Singing Hills, not Singing Hills, Hills, where.
Hello. No, and I didn't hear that. No, come back with the whole statement again, because
they were saying how two young men shot each other and killed each other. You know, and see, we are at that level where it's no jobs in the black community, no development, and they robbing and stealing from each other and selling dope to each other to survive. See, until we as a people demand development in our community, demand economic development, jobs in our community. See, all the jobs is outside our community. And then when you look at what's happening in DISD, they miseducating our children. And if you drop out of school, you go into the penitentiary because you can't provide for yourself. You can't get a job. You know. So
well. Now you know what you just described, Robert, is despair. Anytime you got people heaped together with no opportunities, no jobs, just basic frustration, they take their frustrations out on people that's closest around them. Same thing is happening in Chicago. That area, all those areas over there, Inglewood and all that in Chicago, those areas used to be thriving.
All over America.
Yeah, but I was describing Chicago.
Right.
There used to be so many plants and businesses over there. African Americans used to have great jobs over there. Those used to be they once was real good areas. But what has happened? Those plants moved to other countries. Now those people are left without jobs, without opportunity, without hope. So who do you take it out on? You're not gonna get mad and just walk all the way across town to another community to take it out on them. You're gonna take it out on people that are closest to you. Then it begins to become a generational thing, because that generation that have learned to do that teach the next generation. The next generation don't know any better than to take their frustrations out on people who look just like them, who live like them, who they consider to be their enemies, when these people aren't their enemies. They don't really know who their real enemies are. And you have these type of things happening. It's going to happen. It's Chicago right now, but later it's going to be Houston.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be Dallas. It's going to be Baltimore. It's going to be other cities. So wherever you see, if we do not do something as a people for ourselves.
Let me say this here, Reverend. Now, when the economy, when Bush just destroyed the economy before Barack Obama became president, a lot of whites lost their job.
I tell you what, we're up against a break. Put him on hold, and I'll bring him back and let him talk another minute, and then we'll go to other calls. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Thank God for Congress, right? When things get out of balance in America, we can always count on our legislative stalwarts to recalibrate the scales of justice. Take greed, for example. The Wall Street barons who wrecked our real economy with their greed-fueled casino games are playing the same games again while pushing Washington to let them keep their public subsidies, fat bonuses, and special low tax rates. So our Congress critters turn their legislative guns on avarice. Unfortunately, their aim was a bit off. Instead of popping the overprivileged, Congress hit the most unprivileged Americans, people on food stamps. Too many families are getting food stamps, they shrieked, driving the cost of this poverty program to record levels. Yoo-hoo, knuckleheads. Record numbers of our people are on food stamps today because, guess what? Record numbers of them are unemployed or underemployed and have been knocked all the way down into poverty. Yet, the Tea Party Republicans now ruling the U.S. House are demanding cuts of as much as $25 billion a year in food stamp benefits, which would prevent some 13 million Americans, half of them children, from receiving the program's groceries. Representative Michelle Bachmann rose in a biblical falsetto to rationalize this. If anyone will not work, neither should he eat. Hello, Michelle, that's not quite what Jesus said. Also, many of these people are working, but not paid enough to make ends meet, and many more are desperately seeking jobs that aren't there. This is Jim Hightower saying, in fairness, though, the GOP did vote to give these food stamp applicants something: drug tests. I don't recall that Jesus at the Sea of Galilee required anyone to pee in the cup before getting fishes and loaves. And if he had done so, he would have required the bankers to take the first cups.
In Dallas, local partners and national nonprofit Connect to Compete have made available for residents digital skills training classes. Classes include basic internet searching, internet basics, computer basics, and more. Local residents are also eligible for programs that provide assistance for internet service and computers. For more information on internet classes at local libraries, their phone number is 1-855-387-9166 or on the web at everyoneon.org. This program is in partnership with Dallas Area Libraries, Connect to Compete, and the Ad Council.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. All right, we were talking to Robert, Mr. Petrie here. Let's bring him back. He's over on line 3 now. And Robert, what were you saying?
What I was saying is I have a friend of mine that's an insurance adjuster, and right at 2008 when the economy got bad and whites was losing their jobs too, they were telling me that the many whites was burning up their cars, setting their houses on fire, getting their equity out because they were in desperation. They didn't have the income that they had. So they were setting cars on fire and burning up their houses, just doing whatever they could.
Well, we having a hard time. We're having a hard time with this connection. We haven't. Okay. All right, cut it out. We can't get him on, but I understand the gist of what he's talking about because, yes, white people do the same thing. Once they become threatened with poverty, they do the same thing. I never forget the time we had a sugar shortage back in the 70s. Restaurants could no longer put packages of sugar on the table. They had to put sugar in jars because white people were coming in these fine restaurants and stealing sugar. All the sugar was gone. So this is human nature to do certain things when you're in dire straits. It's just not relegated to blacks or any other ethnic groups. All people do certain things for survival. They do. So let's not get caught up in that. Let's not go crazy and get confused with that. Although some people believe that because they've never been in that situation. But they get in dire straits, they don't know what they'll do for survival. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Ike. All righty? Good morning, Ike.
Good morning, Rev Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the program, and I'm so, glad that you are sounding the alarm to wake us up to what's really going on in America, especially with the criminal justice system. Now,
it's awful.
I Yeah, I find it so strange, like this Zimmerman situation, where we have to cry out and protest or whatever we have to do to get them to bring this man to justice. Well, you know, and I heard Mr. Petrie talking about the Dallas County, you know, and how racist the system is right here. And it's just Texas, you know, it's so racist in Texas that we got people going to jail for little or nothing, and we having a hard time stopping them from going to the penitentiary for little or nothing, but we can't get this man tried for murder. There's a case in Dallas right now that Reverend Wright them been protesting about Ladarius Ewing and this dog. Well, there's another case in Plano. Well, I'm going to try to make it quick. Well, in Plano, I think the guy named is Stephen Shaw. He was indicted in the grand jury where he was arrested, and the grand jury said they didn't have enough evidence to indict the man, and they cleared his name. Man moved to Kansas. Somebody forgot to take the warrants off the computer. He was up there taking care of his family like he should have been doing. Well, they picked him up in Kansas for a traffic citation, found out that he had a warrant here in Texas. Plano went all the way to Texas and brought the man back. All the way to Kansas, brought the man back to Plano, Texas. He stayed in jail, I think, 23 days. Then they let the man go, saying that all charges had been cleared. He was cleared of all charges, but the man lost his job.
Yeah.
He can't get a job. He's trying to sue. They won't let him sue. And not only that, my thing is what they're going to do now since he can't pay his child support. Put him back in jail. But they saying that they think that certain counties and municipalities is immune from such lawsuits. Well, they had no business going up there messing with the man. So
they should have been able to look at that on computer from the very beginning and saw that the man charges had been dropped against him. So they should have let people in Kansas know that they didn't have any charges against him. But they went through all of this to destroy this man's life. It's sad.
But they went up there and brought him back. Plano sent someone up there to pick him up, which I think there's then they saying, but they ought to be held liable for this man's, demise. I think it's so. But then, just like I'm trying to say here, it's good that we're upset about the Trayvon Martin and the Zimmerman situation. But we got to start looking around our own back door, around Texas and Dallas especially. We got too much going on. Police killing too many people. We got these lawyers down there changing indictments, and they're supposed to be legal. Once you're indicted, whatever the grand jury indicts you for, that's what you're supposed to be tried for. Not some judge or some prosecutor go in there during the trial and change the indictment or change the word in the indictment to make their case stronger. So that's that. I'm going to let somebody else talk, and you just have a blessed day and stay on the battlefield, and God bless.
All right, thank you, Ike. That's Mr. Ike Steen. He's really fighting hard for his son that he feel like was very, very much so wronged, and it's one of those situations. It's good when people have those type of convictions. It's good to have a good father that will fight for you. It's good. So you can call us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We have callers on the line, but he still got this other line open. Doc is producing for me this morning. And all righty, if we can kill line 2, they can see him in that. And all righty, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. All righty, let's go with Michael. All righty, Michael, you there?
Yes, sir. Reverend Barnett?
Yes,
How are you doing, sir?
Fine. You doing all right?
Oh, I'm struggling, but by golly, you help me, sir. You inspire me. And I say that, we have all the proof we need. Our brother Terrell Bolton is still being harassed, accused of stalking a boss in Georgia while he has receipts from grocery stores right here in the Metroplex. Mm-hmm. And there's, even our African-American brothers who try to be policemen and bring a kinder, gentler policeman, Terrell Bolton did a lot to reduce corruption in the Dallas City
Yes,
Police.
he did, and our community did not stand by him the way
Yes,
we
sir,
should.
A lot of us did. Brother Al Lipscomb, me, Marvin Crenshaw, Roy Williams. We sat with Terrell and we spoke with him, and he worked hard. And by golly, they're still harassing him. He is a good human, and he's got problems now because of the way he's been abused, and he's not harassing anybody, and they're falsely accusing him.
Yeah, I had him on this program,
That's
and we talked, and he explained all the things. But we, as a people in mass numbers, I don't know why we will listen to those who do not have our best interests involved. We will listen and cater to them.
This case we're discussing, George Zimmerman, the whole thing, we know it's not true, but they're saying it's true, you know? We already know that the child didn't do the wrong thing, and the man did.
Yeah.
And they're just telling us, don't believe your eyes and ears, believe our lies.
And you got some of our people who actually believe that mess. Everybody knows. Anybody with common sense knows that George Zimmerman was responsible for the death of Trayvon Martin. They know it. He admits he killed him. He admits he got out of the car. He admits to everything. Then he will tell certain things. He told so many different lies and would back it up. If you notice, the prosecutor never challenged him on all those lies he told. And he also, when he talked about the gun, the prosecutor pulled the gun out of his front pocket. George Zimmerman said the gun was in the back over his right hip. So it's a lie about where the gun was, because if the gun was where he said it was, where Zimmerman said it was, there's no way he could have gotten to it with Trayvon straddling him. And I don't know if he shot Trayvon on the ground or was he standing there. It's never really been clear about the whole situation.
Yes, sir. Yeah. May I ask one question?
Yes,
I think that we both know, and all of us know, that there is a video somewhere. With all of that disruption in the public street and sidewalk, somebody video phoned this thing. Somebody hasn't come forward. We believe. We're hoping. We've got volunteers down there going door to door asking people if they have any, if they saw something or heard something, but were afraid to tell the police. So, it's possible somebody has a video record. Because it was right there in the street and they were being loud.
Well,
isn't that true?
Yeah, well, there's possibility.
But even video record it.
Yeah.
So we may have a record. Someone's just afraid to bring forward. There's volunteers
but see,
door to door now.
For that, it's too late. It's too late. Even if they got everything recorded, it's too late. It's gone to the jury. That's too late. Even if it was
the prosecutor didn't vigorously investigate.
Well, no, I don't think they did. The
person.
Yeah.
It was a long trip. This following of Trayvon, it wasn't just that one street corner. So there's a lot of people. We have to see the prosecution's case of interviewing each one of them multiple times.
Yeah.
So we're working on it. But bless you for doing everything you're doing, Reverend Barnett.
All righty. We thank you, and we thank you for your call.
Yes, sir, and tell Terrell that we're still thinking of him.
All righty.
Bless you.
Bless you. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. We up against a break? Yeah. Cut it out. Yeah, cut that line out. 972-647-1893. Well, when we look at this thing and look at what's going on and see what's happening here, we just can't bury our heads in the sand like we're trying to. We're trying to pretend like nothing gone wrong, nothing. They'll settle this and that. When we as a people, when will we wake up? When will we wake up? First of all, when you wake up, the first thing you need to do is speak up, and then Put some actions with your speech. Put some prayers. Put some feet on your prayers. Move forward. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to press forward? When are we going to show some concern and love for ourselves? We love everybody else, but we don't care anything, seemingly, about our own selves and our own people. We just don't. I guess slavery has done a tremendous disservice against us. All right, let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Christy. All righty. Good morning, Christy.
Hi, Reverend Barnett.
Hello, how are you?
To your show quite often. I heard your show last week, and I really didn't get a chance to call in, but I wanted to call today just to say that I've actually taken my concealed handgun class, and it was extremely informative.
Right.
And after taking that class, I see that we as a people really need to get our license too.
Well, and not cutting you off, Christy, but this is so true. Everyone has this particular license but us.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, that middle class black that goes to work every day, that middle class black that buying a home, paying a mortgage, that middle class black that's taking care of his children, trying to send them to the best schools possible. He's the one that's vulnerable because he's the one the man is not packing. He's not packing. You see that fella running around there with with his underwear showing. He thinks twice before he mess with him because he got a feeling that fella might be packing. Those who can afford this handgun license, and what they need to do is learn about who can obtain them. I know a lot of brothers and sisters have criminal background histories, and some of them hasn't gotten expunged or haven't been out long enough to get a concealed handgun. But we need to go and make sure we take this concealed handgun class, and that doesn't mean you're not violent, but you need to protect yourself.
Absolutely not, Reverend Barnett.
And you're a black woman, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You definitely need some protection. Yes,
I do. And I tell you what, I went on the Texas DPS website, and there was a really big disparity in the statistics of the concealed handgun license.
Right.
And to know that there's a small fraction of African Americans with a license compared to the number of white is disturbing.
It's terrifying.
It's very terrifying. I learned so much about the Texas laws when I took my class on what you can and cannot do, and they actually take you to the gun range. Right. So these instructors that I saw, and I have to be honest, I was a little unsure about using a gun, but they actually have both male and female instructors that really helped me to become comfortable.
Well, I've been seeking out, trying to find somebody. See, we have so few African Americans that's in the business. We got whites; they're fine, I guess. But last year, I looked it up on. This year, of those who are training, how many African American women you think have gotten her license to train in the state of Texas? How many? Take a guess.
No, because I
take a guess. Look at your hand. Look at your hand and take a guess off your hand.
Probably 2, maybe 3 or 4.
Guess what? You're at least 3 too many. Only 1.
Wow.
Only 1. So we need to do this. Yeah, we're up against a short break, and I thank you for your call and comment.
Reverend Barnett, can I tell you the company?
I tell you what. We're up against a break, and I'll put it on hold, and we'll bring it right back. All right.
GoodSearch.com provides a way for you to support nonprofits like KNON with your online shopping and dining. GoodSearch.com offers a downloadable toolbar for searching from your computer called Good App, so your purchases can go to support KNON. With Good Dining, every time you go out to eat at participating restaurants, then a portion of what you spend gets donated to KNON. Registering is easy at GoodSearch.com, and Knon 89.3 is the name to enter in your account settings for charity selection. Support KNON with your online shopping and dining at GoodSearch.com.
skin. Only add color to my tears. That splash against my hollow bone really rocks my soul. Looking back over my false dreams I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me, what can I do? Oh Lord.
Yes. Cut it up. No.
Oh, he mean play the music. Keep it going.
No. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Is it because I'm black? One of those old back in the 60s. Am I having so many problems? Is it because I'm black? There's just so much people we need to get our heads together. We need to get our minds together. Let's go back and talk with Christy on line 2. Alrighty. Christy, are you there?
Yes, Reverend Barnett, I'm still here.
Okay. All right. Go right ahead.
Well, I was just, pretty much saying it's very important for us to receive our concealed handgun license. Mm-hmm. And for those that may not know where to go, because I know I had a hard time finding, but I did find one company called Total Precision Shooting, mm-hmm. And I kept their card, and I'm glad that I did. Mm-hmm. It's that I can give you their number. It's 214-395-6852. They have male and some female instructors as well. And it looks like their website is totalprecisionshooting.com.
Okay, that's great. They can get their hand license. Are you impressed with them?
Oh, absolutely. The class was wonderful.
Okay.
It was really good, very informative. I encourage everyone.
Christy, this is Greg Barber. I have a question. You've taken the class, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. What was the one thing that came out of that class that's brought out in the trial that strikes you about that class that you didn't know, but now you know?
Actually, there are a couple of things.
Okay.
Because you learn so much about the Texas law.
Right.
That and each state has different laws, but
Right.
Texas law tells you what you can and cannot do, and when you can and cannot use your gun. And with this case going on, he clearly is, in the wrong.
But you must listen to the words of the defense attorney. Mark O'Meara said he didn't even have to have a scratch on his finger. All that was needed was the perception.
Well,
the perception. And that troubles me to the very core of who I am. Someone can have just the perception that I'm a threat, and he can use deadly force. Are we really realizing what that means? What he's saying?
Yeah.
We're right back at the Dred Scott decision, which says that black people do not have any rights that have to be respected. In other words, we don't have any constitutional rights. We don't have any civil rights. They can do or whatever they perceive, just on the perception. We're right back at Dred Scott.
Right, but the thing about it, especially with this particular case, and the Texas law, you learn through this class is that you cannot start a fight. And that's exactly what he did. He followed him, he went after him, and he started that confrontation. You cannot start that and use a gun against that person because they get the best of you or something.
True indeed.
You cannot do that.
But
it's in the law.
Let me ask you this: Did your teachers also tell you that if you use deadly force, the only thing in your favor is there's only going to be one person to tell the story.
Hello?
Right. I'm sorry. I think my phone became
I stated that. Did they state to you that if you make, first of all, you never pull that weapon without the intent on using it? You don't pull it brandishing it. You don't pull it with the. You pull it when you pull it. You have all intent on using it. And also, did they state when you start to use deadly force, the best thing in your corner is there's only going to be one person to tell the story.
Yeah, but here's what about that whole situation. When we begin to look at it, you will still be alive to tell the story if you have some protection.
That's true.
Now you'll be alive.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what we want to make sure that we stay alive. Christian, give that number out one more time.
Sure. It's 214-395-6852. And the company is Total Precision Shooting. Now, to answer his one question in regards to the instructors, you're going to learn what the do's and don'ts on what you can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. Now, they're not going to give you legal advice, but they'll teach you and thoroughly go over the Texas laws on what you can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. So, definitely, I would reach out, and I think we as a people really need to get our concealed handgun license.
Well, and you were impressed with this class.
Absolutely, and I did this a year or two ago, and I actually carry, and I'm happy to do that. So, you people need to do it.
Okay,
we need to do it.
Okay, then. Thank you, Christine.
Uh-huh.
All right. The clears the line, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Eddie, all righty? Good morning,
Rev. How are you?
Fine, Eddie. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm a white man, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white man, and to me what is so obvious why Zimmerman is so guilty is the simple fact the audio tape when he calls the police and they say, are you following him? And he says, yes. And they say, you need to back off. And he still kept on. Mm-hmm. That right there, that's where it turned to a vigilante. And that bothers me to no end. And what really bothers me more than that is the simple fact that the media, they try to dig up any way they possibly can on this Trayvon, this poor kid, to make him look in a bad light any way they possibly can. That bothers the living. You know what about him? Oh, he was seen in a convenience store buying a Coke. So what? And the media is as much to blame as trying to put him in a bad light. Mm-hmm.
Well, Eddie, if I saw you and then I don't know you, but I started calling you out of your name, saying dirty, nasty things about you, just because you are a white man and got blonde hair and blue eyes, and I just hate white people, and I start saying nasty things, don't you think that's profiling?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this man on the phone call. The phone call. Media,
they're trying to dig up anything and trying to put him in a bad light any way they possibly can.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's just so wrong.
Well, now,
Zimmerman, the audio tape, him saying, the police said, you need to back off. Mm-hmm. And he didn't back off. That right there, even though it's only audio, right there.
I'm going to tell you something else.
So obvious.
I think a lot of people, the media, and a lot of people are very racist behind was the young lady, Miss Gentile. People don't realize, they say she wasn't eloquent of speech. She talked this way and talked that way. Well, do we realize English is her third language? Her first language is Creole. Her second language is Spanish. English is a third language with her. So, and she comes from a different culture than we do. The way she described people, she even described the prosecution as that bald-headed dude over there. And, but I really believe she told the truth. Mm-hmm. I really believe she told the truth. I believe she told the truth.
And, Zimmerman, self-defense, my eye. The guy pulled a gun on him. He was stalking him, and they better find him guilty. Mm-hmm. And I can't be the only white guy who feels this way. There's a lot of us that feel this way.
I think a lot of white people know this.
There better be some justice, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
I think all white people know it, but there are only, I'd say half of America willing to admit it. But there's a segment out there Remember, this is small town America that they did not even want to arrest this guy. It was 44 days after this happened before they would even bring charges against him. So
with civil unrest now.
Yeah.
With civil unrest.
Yes. And it took demonstrations, marches, and everything else to get them just to arrest this guy.
Right. And then they tried to bury it, keep it low key as they possibly could, as much as they possibly could, until they couldn't. They couldn't keep it under wraps.
Right.
But how did the media? They got a stranglehold on on trying to put things in a bad light.
Right.
And you better believe that the way that they perceive things on the news is it's just wrong.
Well,
it's not right.
I've seen some of the most well-known lawyers in the country. I'm talking about white lawyers. The way they're framing this thing, I'm shocked, because most of them were supposed to have been liberal, open-minded. But no, they're showing their true colors on this. Because anybody knows, if I came after you, no matter what happened, if you knock my head off and I fall to the ground and shoot you, it's my fault, because I had no business messing with you. No, and I know it's not against the law to follow somebody, but if I start a confrontation with you, there's no way I'm supposed to kill you.
Unless.
And just look at the physical size between the two. They're trying to tell us that this young kid, overpowered him. That's nonsense.
The guy weighed 203 pounds.
Trayvon weighed in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this Zimmerman cat, he took, he's stalking people or whatever he's doing. It's just wrong, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all wrong.
Yeah, it is. He weighed 203 pounds. Trayvon weighed 158. And one lady on the news anchor last night was showing this picture, and the other lady she had on, supposed to be sometime big time lawyer, saying, "Oh, look at how muscular and big Trayvon is." Man, this kid weighed 158 pounds. Come on, man. I weighed that much. I weighed that much when I was 11 years old. Come on.
They're stacking the deck, man. I don't like that. I don't like how they're stacking the deck against the black folks, and I'm sorry to say that, man, but that's just how I see it. Stacking the deck. It ain't right, man. I hope this is a turning point in our society. I really do.
So.
I hope this is a turning point.
This decision is going to be, oh Lord, have mercy. I just hope this decision come out right.
When the defense attorney showed the pictures at the end of his closing arguments, the picture with Trayvon with his shirt off, he said, "This was the man who made the ultimate decision. This was the man." And showed the picture, the statue cut out. I felt like the prosecution should have came on right behind that and said, "No, this is not the man we're talking about. This man no longer exists." He should have. And now, this would have been shocking. It would have been grotesque, but you need to shock the conscience of people. He should have had pictures of Trayvon in the morgue and showed, "No, that's not the man. This is the man. This is him. This is him."
How do we know that after the fact that Zimmerman didn't have, someone kind of hit him in the face a few times to make it look, what I'm saying, after the fact?
I got a feeling.
That absolutely could have happened. Absolutely could have happened.
Because when this defense attorney brought out this brick, do you not know if you slammed a man's head 25 times like them say he did, he wouldn't be around to tell it with a piece of concrete like that. He wouldn't be around to tell it. No.
That was the part I was unclear on. Is he saying that Trayvon hit him with that brick?
No, he said he
slammed
grabbed
his head
it and slammed his head. He was
his body. He wouldn't have been living.
With the gun
I tell you what,
under his right hip. There's no way if he's straddling him, he can get to the gun.
He can get it. There's no way.
There's no way.
What I do like is it's putting the light on the law enforcement and how lousy and not corrupt, but how lousy the law enforcement is in that town. It put a light right on that law enforcement because I tell you what, just from the get-go, I'm not saying covering up, but it's just the law enforcement, it's kind of showing their, I don't know if you want to call it racist or whatever it is that's going on down there.
I'll call it like this. It's racist. White America, y'all need to start saying, just tell it like it is. Until we have a conversation and sit down on race, this is going to continue.
Yeah,
we need to stop. We need to stop dodging and pretend it don't exist and we don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about it and discuss it, and that way we can get this thing aired out.
And you know what? It takes a few white people just to not sit there and do nothing and stand up, and say something when it's wrong. Do something, just don't stand there and do nothing.
All right. Yeah, I'm up against a break, but I thank you for your call and
I
comment.
appreciate it, man. You have a good day.
All right, you do the same. All right, you can call us at 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. And you can talk to us. We're going to our second segment. But right now, Doc is just giving a sign to take a break, and so we've got to take a short break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
It goes back to the fundamentals, intoned a Wall Street analyst. The economy is improving. Improving for whom? By fundamentals, he means the high-flying stock market, booming corporate profits, and top executive pay. Those are signs of an economy that is top-heavy, not healthy. In fact, our economy is teetering dangerously because it's not sustained from below by a strong middle class. Economist Paul Krugman notes that far from improving, our economy remains in a low-grade depression. Of course, that thermometer zooms to a high grade if you're among the millions of Americans who are jobless, working for low wages, or able to get only part-time temporary employment. Yes, the unemployment rate has ticked down, but not because of any jump in job creation. Rather, the dismal lack of hiring has become so discouraging that many people simply give up the hunt, which magically removes them from the ranks of the unemployed. Most Congress critters clearly don't care about America's middle-class jobs depression. The White House cares, but doesn't treat it as the crisis it is, so nothing happens. The only jobs push we've had is the stopgap effort by the Federal Reserve to pump enough money into the economy to keep unemployment from worsening. But rather than push harder, Ben Bernanke, head of the central bank, recently sounded retreat. He, too, uses the faulty unemployment statistic as a crutch to claim improvement. The jobless rate, he says, could drop to 7% next year, so the Fed's stimulus will no longer be needed. This is Jim Hightower saying, that's shameful. Even if that was the true rate, 7% equals 11 million unemployed Americans and many millions more who would still be underemployed. From Bernanke to Congress, all government officials who shrug their shoulders and give up on helping that many Americans should themselves be made jobless.
Of my skin, only add color to my tears. That splash against my hollow bone really rocks my soul.
Was it 'cause it was dark? Was it 'cause he had on a hoodie? Was it 'cause he was 17? Was it because he was taller? Was it because he had on a gold grill one night? Sent text messages over his phone? Or was it because he was black? That's a question we got to ask ourselves. Was it because he was black?
Was it because he was black that the judge said race could not be used?
You got to ask that question, Rev.
Why? Look, race has been the elephant in the room across America during this whole trial. But race could not be used. What is it? Why do we bury our heads in the sand? Why? What is it about race? Many whites don't want to discuss, don't want to talk about. What is it? What is it? Is there a guilt feeling? Is it a ill will? Is it because they just can't overcome feeling that way about African Americans because they were taught to feel that way and been taught from one generation to the next? What is it about race white America don't want to face? What is it?
I'm mortified because I'm listening at the defense attorney. He said this guy made the choice, the ultimate decision, not to go on home. He made the choice.
Come on now.
That's what I'm listening at him, and I'm confused. I'm mortified. He made the choice, not Mr. Zimmerman.
Why would he go home with nobody there but his little 12-year-old brother? And why would you have what you perceive probably as a pervert behind you? Why would you go to your house and lead this pervert to your house? This makes no sense. But like I said, most people know this clown is guilty. Yes. Most people know it.
Yes.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. But we got the charade. There's this dog and pony show. This trial, and if they let him go, like I said, it's a referendum in America where African Americans ever really have their rights. I was looking at this call 214-395-6852 for that handgun license. 214-395-6852. If you want to get your concealed handgun license, people, you need to wake up. There are others out there who's offering. I'm not saying we're not going to kill anybody. I know black folks. But we do need to protect ourselves. We need to be ready to stand for and protect ourselves. All right, let's go to our phone lines and say good morning to Lee. All righty. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. And I want to piggyback on something that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I believe that this thing is totally racially motivated.
Oh, yes.
And Trayvon Martin, he was going to be wrong from the beginning.
He was racially profiled.
Because, number one, he was in an area where he shouldn't have been, so Zimmerman thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the second point is that when they started talking about the call,
mm-hmm.
he was right in the fact that he was trying to get away from the guy. But what they're trying to say is
mm-hmm.
that because he didn't go straight home, and Zimmerman said that he followed him, is that he retreated.
Well, now, Zimmerman was 50 feet from his car.
Yeah, but there's...
And it took, what was this, over 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Now, it doesn't take 4 minutes to walk 50 feet. Believe me.
I know that.
You can almost, in fact, a sprinter can run 50 feet in 4 seconds. You can really run
a mile
in
4 minutes. That's a 4-minute mile.
Yeah. But see, this whole thing makes no sense. His whole story is full of lies.
Yeah,
they got holes in him all the way because now remember he'd taken this martial arts class. He also had taken courses in law enforcement. He knew what to say to the police.
Yes,
sir.
And don't leave out that his dad is a judge.
Yeah, he knew exactly what to say. So he came back, he told the story, but when the others called him and wanted to interview him, he couldn't think of what he had told, the lie he had told the others, so he changed that lie. And then he acted a fool and went on, what's his name? Sean Hannity's show.
Yeah.
And then he told other lies that contradicted his other lies. If you notice, that defense attorney, he never brought up the things that the prosecutors had called him a lie. He never brought that up because he knew that his stories had so many holes on it. He even tried to tell you and convince you that if you really telling the truth, you can't tell the same story over again. Now he's insulting the intelligence of every human being that was listening to that.
But the commentators even picked up on that.
Yeah.
The folks commentating on the trial even picked up on that.
Yeah. It's such a bad situation for us to even have to go through something like this. I don't know Florida law on first degree murder. I guess what do you have to do? Meditate on first degree murder or what?
Premeditated.
Premeditated?
Yeah.
I don't know if that could have been proven. In my mind, it could, because obviously Zimmerman had in his mind that he really wanted to do some African American in, if he saw him even in the apartments, even in the area, he wanted to do him in.
Why else would you have a gun on you?
Well, that's why he approached him, because he knew he had a gun,
right.
And figured this child didn't have a gun.
And he kept saying that their neighborhood had been robbed and vandalized and broken into, all by blacks.
Well, let me ask you this. During the time of all the hangings in America, it was not until 1949 that there was not a hanging of a black man by white racists in America. But do we look at every white man and says, we can't trust you, we want to kill you because your folk been hanging our people? No.
But let's bring
but they try to say, if one black do things, all blacks are guilty. And see, that just show you how ridiculous that argument is.
And let's bring it on further to the future. One of the most heinous crimes ever committed on American soil was committed by a white male, Timothy McVeigh.
Yes.
But are we able to profile every white male that comes, young white male that come our way?
Are we terrorists? And remember, they first tried to lay it on followers of Louis Farrakhan.
Exactly. Exactly.
But Timothy McVeigh has blown up a building, killed children, killed babies, blew up a daycare center, everything that was going on in that building he killed. But are they going to go around profiling every young white man in America?
Well,
No.
The Sarnath, one of the Sarnath brothers is going on trial for the bombing at the Boston Marathon. Are they going to profile all Russians from now on?
No.
Are they going to watch them in every neighborhood that they go in?
No. But one black do something, you profile all black people. That is nothing but pure racism. All right, are you there?
I'm here.
All righty.
And I was just piggybacking on, Judge Nelson said that she wouldn't allow race in there, racial profiling to be in there. And the defense attorney, he made a point to bring that up in his closing remarks.
He did. Yes, he did.
He sure did. And then Mr. Guy.
And he said it in a very racist way. He said that they had just, a couple of nights earlier, a black male had burglarized somebody's house. He did it in a very racist way. He was trying to play to the sensitivities of those 6 jurors, which 5 is white and 1 is Hispanic. He was trying to stir the racism up in them.
Trying to make them afraid of all black men.
That's right. So it's a sad situation that we have here in America, but this is the thinking of too many Americans think like this, but there are many that don't, but there's too many that do. All right. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
All right. That clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Greg, how would you classify? Do you think this thing could have gone first degree murder?
In my eyesight, it should have. I'm puzzled by, in this particular trial, how all these particular elements work in the favor of the defense, but when the shoe is on the other foot, none of that seems to apply. I mean, when the shoe is on the other foot, they can get, it was premeditated, it was intent, it was with wanton malice. All of this is already implicit, it's there. But in this case, you got to prove what he was thinking, what he was feeling, how he felt on that day. Was he sick? Was he? All of this stuff is working for them, but it never works for us. I'm puzzled by this. How?
Well, that's the criminal justice system in America.
It's not even a question of whether he did it or not. The fella said, yes, I shot and killed him. I pulled a gun and killed him. Okay, in my book, case closed, that's it, close the door, it's over with. No. Why did he kill him? Did he confront him? Was it self-defense? I got 2 hands, you have 2 hands. I'm not specially trained, you've had some training. and you pull a deadly weapon and kill me, I don't see how that's self-defense.
It's not. You know, they really insult our intelligence, and too many of our people fall for it. They fall for this ridiculous trash that they throw at us. It's so ridiculous. And again, for this judge, this jurist, to say race cannot be a part of this is utterly ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why would she do something like this? Why?
To get to automatically call herself leveling the playing field, to automatically call herself not allowing. Everybody's trying to avoid the fiasco of the Rodney King and O.J. Simpson trial. They don't want that kind of publicity. They don't want that kind of hype around their cases. And they use that as an example of what they don't want, and they take extreme measures such as this to try to avoid that.
Let me ask the audience. If they find him guilty, what would you feel satisfied with when it comes to sentencing? If they find him guilty of manslaughter, he can get up to 30 years. If they find him guilty of second-degree murder, he can get life. Or we have from 30 years to life, or any, they might let him walk. What? 972-647-1893. I want you to answer that, the audience to answer this. What do you think would be an adequate sentence for this guy if he's found guilty? Now, that's a big if now. That IF is not but two letters, but that's a big if.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. He might walk. Greg, what would you think it would be a fair sentencing for this?
That's a hard question, Rev Barnett, because I have to think of the unthinkable, the unwanting thinkable, and that would be put myself in the shoes of Trayvon Martin's parents and see that very well could have been my son. That very well could have been me getting that news on that night that my son had been killed at the hands of another. Now I'd have to be like I'm caught up, if you want to say this, so like Apostle Paul. On the one hand, I know what my Christian beliefs call for me to do. On the other hand, my parental love for my son is calling for justice. So I'm risked between the two. I'm caught up. On one hand, I want the max. I want the max.
If he could have gotten the death penalty, would you go for that?
That's a hard push. I would hope that I can reach deep enough to say no, not the death penalty. I'm not a proponent of the death penalty, because what man can flip the switch? What man can give the injection? Right. I would hope. That's my hope. That's my hope and prayer. Let me say. I would hope that I would be strong enough in my faith to find something to hold on to where I would not be struck with vengeance to that degree.
Yeah, well. All right, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Tony. All right. Tony, you there?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, Tony, what sentencing, if he's found guilty, you got second degree, he could get life. You have manslaughter, he could get 30 years. Any less on either point. What would you like to see done? What would you have done?
I want the same sentence that a black person get, 25 to life. And that's what they give us no matter what we do. So it should be just in that sense. Now, I want to point out 3 points about the Trayvon case, trial. Number one is this: if he does get off, the parents have the right to have a civil lawsuit against him.
Well, they got that working already. They already have the attorney. In fact, the Homeowners Association have already given them $1 million. They didn't even fight it. Yeah,
I'm just talking about Flores and Zimmer himself. Number two is this: anytime a lawyer tells you not to use your common sense, you already know that he his argument is weak. Because he asking you to use the facts that he displayed and not common sense, which is kind of strange because one thing we always say is use common sense. So, number 3 is this. It seems as though the prosecution did not use his advantage of the female jurors, meaning that they are mothers. Why not say, okay, you're a mother. What if this is your child? What if this was your son going to get Skittles on a rainy day? He didn't paint a picture. It's almost the prosecution did he set a low bar to argue the case rather than a high bar. And my last point is this. If you ever saw the movie 42 with Jackie Robinson, and it's a point in there where he was ran out of town. That's the same town. Steph is the same town Jackie Robinson was ran out of in the movie. That same town. And many people have not even approached that saying, wait a minute, Jackie Robinson, when he was going to the minor leagues of the Dodgers, was ran out of Stanford, that same town. And I'll leave you with that.
It has a great history of bigotry and racism, which most cities in America have, just about all of them. All right. Thank you for your call and comment. All right. That clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Is it time for a break before we go into another call? You want to take? Go for a break. All right. We're going to take a short break, and you can call us at 972-647-1893.
In 2012, the Salvation Army sheltered 6,386 homeless men, women, and children, provided over 190,000 hours of substance abuse rehabilitation, and provided day camps and sports programs for needy children. They operated over 200 apartments for low-income seniors, and they provided over $400,000 in financial assistance to those in need. Chances are very good that you know someone who relied upon these services for shelter, recovery, or other forms of emergency help when life for them made a wrong turn. If you are in need, or to find out how you can help, 1-800-SALARMY. That's 1-800-725-2769, or on the internet at salvationarmyusa.org.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass-Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Recordtown in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
I listen to the words of a multitude of friends. Do believe the answer lies deep within. To be strong as a key and put my trust in an Almighty. Be still for the answer I trust in Him to give.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Along with us this morning is Mr. Greg Barber. You hear him every Saturday morning with our SAT job line. We'll be hearing from the job line in just a few minutes, but we are going to our phone lines, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. 1893. All right, let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Larry. All righty, good morning, Larry.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. How are you this morning?
Very, very good. As far as the verdict, whether he's found guilty or not, he's like on a tennis ball table, ping pong ball table. Either way it goes, he's gonna fall off the table. Because if you look at Trayvon's father, he have a lot of malice in his heart.
Yes, that's a hateful looking fella. Ooh, that's a hateful looking fella. Mm-hmm.
And you don't know about other people that's family members and what they feel. And if he go down, if he do get sentenced to the penitentiary, how long will he stay in the pen without somebody taking him out?
Well, I don't know about all of that, but I do know one thing. This trial, this decision, anyway it comes, it's already done its damage in America. It showed up America. It showed up. It showed up a lot of these defense attorneys that they have coming on all of these MSNBCs and these other stations. They showed a lot of them. They showing their true colors with this particular case. Because anybody in their right mind, as the prosecutor said, use your common sense. Any fool know that this thing was provoked and started by George Zimmerman, and the young man would not be dead if it wasn't for George Zimmerman. So any fool knows this. Any fool. Just use your common sense. People, don't listen to all these talking heads. Don't let degrees and different things confuse you. They're there to muddy the water. That's all they want to do. And you switch the thing vice versa. The trial would have been over 1 or 2 days, and the guy would have been convicted, and he probably would be on death row right now. So let's use our common sense. Had it been a black man tracking down a white boy, it wouldn't all this mess wouldn't even come about. It'd been so fast, most of America wouldn't have known anything about it.
But true, a lot of these racist people, if you look back at the Ku Klux Klan, they took the hoods off, and a lot of them put on badges.
Yeah, they put it on badges, 3-piece suits. They put on robes, black robes, and everything else. They're everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we don't know it because it's not written across their face. Mm-hmm. But like you say about the handgun carrying law,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not there for anybody to get one. To get.
Yeah, and we need to take advantage of that to make sure that we protect ourselves. We're not going out looking for anybody. I hate the law, but I know other people are packing, and other people are you might have a confrontation on the street at a red light, anything. They're packing. They can shoot you and holler, stand your ground. So, people, we better wake up. They're there. It's there. It's not expensive, what I'm told, to get it and go on and get that license. That's all.
Oh no! Once you do the paperwork and you pay the fee, and they run your background, then basically all that it is to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really nothing but going down buying you some shells
mm-hmm.
and choosing the weapon that you would like to go out and test with,
mm-hmm.
and that's about it.
All right. I thank you. Thank you for that information. All right, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to, is that Matthew? All righty, good morning, Matthew. Matthew. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Matthew is not there. All right, let's go to line 1 and say good morning to DJ DL.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you would just take a look at the scale of justice, you see how it's unbalanced, first of all. And what we got to know and realize and believe that there's no justice for us. It's just Jesus and us. Those who we got to believe in. Now, I am a commissioned officer. Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Yes. I am a commissioned officer, and I do have a concealed license. And I have been in a situation kind of similar what George Zimmerman was in and Trayvon. Now, if this man, if he had to use deadly force, he didn't necessarily have to shoot him right in the heart. He had to shot him in the knee, arm, shoulder, if he had to do that.
That means he had him dead to right. See, your heart, people think your heart is to the left. Your heart is in the center of your chest. That's where where your heart is. It's not over to the left, near your shoulder or anything. It's in the dead center of your chest. He had him dead to right. And if Trayvon had been straddling him and had him down, how you going to shoot him, get that aim, and shoot him right dead in the chest? The whole thing is a lie. The man is lying, and everybody know this man is lying. White people know he's lying.
Yeah,
but
and one more thing.
Yeah,
and just one more thing. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, if anybody else the public is. Are you aware that George Zimmerman, father of an ex-judge?
Oh yes, he was a justice of peace. Yes.
Yes, and his wife worked there in the courthouse too. She retired from that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all set up.
Well, now I look at this, Greg. What do you think about it? Do you think the prosecutor made too much of this? Who was screaming and I know good and well the screaming stopped when the shot went off, but was who was screaming? I know George Zimmerman was screaming because it. I knew it was Trayvon screaming because if you got a gun, why would you be screaming? I got a gun,
right?
And you and I have got in a conversation. Why would I be screaming? I'm fixing to shoot you. Why would I be screaming?
Well, that was part of his plan. But that was part of his plan to do that because he knew he was going to do anyway.
Yeah,
it was all set up.
Yeah,
it was all set up.
All right.
Yes,
we thank you for your call. That clears the line.
Sir,
972-647-1893. Let's go to Carol on line 3. All righty. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. I just wanted to make a statement. I have never called before, but I just feel like George Zimmerman is guilty. To me, if he was in a car, he was had a gun. If he got out of that car with that gun, he's like a predator or some kind of a bully. And just to me, he's looking for trouble. And it got out of hand. But like you say, if he had just let Trayvon Martin alone, this never would have happened.
None of this would have ever happened.
And to me, George Zimmerman is guilty. I don't know what type of sentence he'll get, but he needs to do time. And I don't know. I don't know how the lawyers were. To me, they didn't look too good.
I have to agree with you on that. But think about this. You're 17 years old.
Yeah.
You're walking in the dark. And all of a sudden, a fella pulls up behind you in a car, driving slow, because you're walking, they got to drive slow to follow you. And then all of a sudden, this fella stops his car, get out of his car, and start walking behind you. You walking in the dark. You're a young man. I never heard them talk about, especially these commentators, talk about the fear that had to be in Trayvon.
Oh, yeah. He was fighting for his life.
He didn't have a gun. He wasn't armed. He's coming from the 7-Eleven. They say he was watching the NBA All-Star game, and he ran down at halftime to get him some Skittles and stuff kids like.
Right.
So he was terrified.
Oh, I know it.
And they talking about, well, he should have went on home. No, you're not going to lead this predator to your house. No.
But Rev Barnett, even in that, and I'm in no way am I equating him with this, but even stray dogs that roam the neighborhood corner him, and he's gonna fight.
He gonna fight.
He gonna show you his teeth.
And the deal with the hoodie. I mean, was it raining?
Yes, it was raining.
Well, he's got his hood up. I mean, I just to me, I just can't believe that they wouldn't find Zimmerman guilty.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to find him guilty or not. Then, after he's found guilty, I don't know what kind of sentence he's going to get if he's found guilty. They saying there's no way he can be found guilty of the second-degree murder. The best they're going to get is manslaughter. You know, it's just been so many excuses made for this guy, as if he's some kind of saint that have done something great. Really,
sounds like somebody's pulling some strings somewhere.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it's just sad. Do you have children?
I have 5.
Oh my God!
I have 5.
You have any boys?
I've got 3 boys. Yes, and
could you imagine getting a phone call that your child went down to the store and was on his way back and somebody killed your child?
Yeah, to me, George Zimmerman's guilty. He's just guilty.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let some other caller give their statement. I just had to say what I had to say.
Alrighty.
And I just hope justice is done.
Alrighty. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That clears the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Malcolm on line 2. Alrighty. Good morning, Malcolm.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. I called last week, but I'm calling back this week to address the issue on the sentencing. You raised the issue about the sentencing. And I just wanted to kind of reflect on the fact that, remember, when George Zimmerman was arrested, at first he was put out on bail. And then, if you recall, there was an issue in regards to a revocation of his bail. That's why he's in jail now. And what happened is that they monitored his phone calls, and him and his wife was lying. They misrepresented to the court what the actual situation was financially.
Right.
And they were manipulating the legal system so he could get a lower bail. Now, when the sentencing phase come up, all this is going to come back on him. He's a habitual liar. He's very arrogant. He tries to manipulate the system. He has little or no respect for the process or the law. And based upon that, if they evaluate him, he's going to get a close to a maximum sentence once he's found guilty. But see, the jury didn't hear about those lies.
Well, you know what? Did the prosecutor ever play up to? He said this was God's will for him to kill this boy. Did you?
No, I don't recall him ever saying
that. Did they ever play that up?
Well, he mentioned.
And now this was months after this had happened. This cat had no remorse whatsoever over killing this child.
No, because he's an arrogant racist, and it's obvious, and he hides behind the system. And it's a good thing that he's not a police officer, because he'd be doing the same thing with a badge. But he is definitely an arrogant racist, and he's a habitual liar.
Right.
And he manipulates the system. And he is a predator, no question. He was being a predator during that night. And the only person in that whole situation who had any grounds for self-defense was Trayvon Martin.
Yes.
And because if the circumstances were the same, like you say, you have a child walking down trying to go home, coming back from the store, and some crazy white man gets out of his car and following him. And he said that he felt the man was crazy. Now, he said he was a cracker, but he said he was crazy, looking crazy. That puts Trayvon Martin in the frame of mind of defending himself. And see,
so and self-preservation is first law of the land.
That's right. Well, and the defense attorney, I mean, you have to give him a little props, because he was trying to do the best. He know he don't have much to work with, but he tried to do his best to spin it around and make it seem like it was sufficient grounds for self-defense. But I think a lot of the jurors are similar to your prior caller, and if they have children, and I think the prosecutor...
I'm not sure, but to me, Carol sounded like a white lady to me.
Well,
and I think I think white people know that this guy is guilty, and they know that they've got children, and they know how they would feel to get a call or the police show up at their door and say, their child has just been killed and their child have done nothing but go on and run to the store and get them some candy and drinks like most children, all children do, and to lose their life behind this is something. But
well, let me one last thing about the judge. I think people have to keep in mind is that one of the things that judges are sensitive to is a reversible error. So they'll make certain rulings that doesn't seem like they should make, but they're trying to guard against reversible error. And I'm not familiar with Florida law. I practice here in Texas. But
you are an attorney?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, you called last week. You sure did. I remember you now.
Yeah, but the idea of putting race in there is the reason why she may have ruled that way was to try to avoid reversible error. But see, the desperation of the defense, they had to put it in there because they had to have that mindset to put that jury to be in fear of Trayvon. If they couldn't put in the jury's mind that Zimmerman had a fear of Trayvon, then they knew he was going up the river.
How do you think it's going to come out? Give me
like I said last week, I think they're going to find him guilty. And manslaughter may be, and I don't practice criminal law, so I must say that manslaughter may be what they find him guilty of. Although I believe he's guilty of second-degree murder, but they may find him guilty of manslaughter. But I think he's going to be found guilty. And I think part of the reason why the system, vigilante is something that the legal system is.
I'm up against a break, but I thank you for your call and comment. We're taking a short break. You can call us at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Tornadoes, wildfires, hurricanes. News of catastrophes creates a need for volunteers. The Mass Care Task Force is a volunteer group that helps after these catastrophes. The Mass Care Task Force is a collaboration of the American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the North Texas Food Bank, and the Volunteer Center of North Texas. Become a pre-trained disaster volunteer who is ready to help before disaster strikes. For more information on becoming a disaster volunteer, the website is forcefortexas.com. A message from KNON and the Mass Care Task Force.
The National Singing Quartet Convention of America in Denomination Incorporated, August 4th to the 10th, making glorious music all week long at the Greater Macedonia Primitive Baptist Church, 8343 Bruton Road in Dallas. Reverend Terrence A. Ford, Senior Pastor, starting Sunday night at 7:30. It's the Delegates Musical. Monday is the Prayers Breakfast and Men's Day. Tuesday is Youth Day and the Angel of the Airways Showcase Luncheon. Wednesday is Founders Night. Thursday is Reunion Night. Friday is Women's Day and the R.H. Harris Memorial Concert at 7:30 at the Greater Macedonia Primitive Baptist Church, starring the Whitney Singers, the Mighty Travelers, the Selby Singers, Buddy and the Straightway Travelers, Brotherly Love, and the Sensational Harmonizers. The National Singing Quartet Convention of America in Denomination Incorporated, August 4th through the 10th. Groups, choirs, vendors, and registration information 214-375-8151. The deadline is July 15th. Tickets are available at the church every day from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
We're back on Church Information in the Open Forum. This is our last segment. And for those of you who might want to take a handgun class, here's some people. Call it 214-395-6852. If you want a concealed weapons license to conceal, to protect yourself, I think everyone should protect themselves. You should protect your family. And we just don't know what's happening going on now. As Greg has said, we're headed, Earth is round, we're making that whole circle, we're back to square one. We're going to have to fight this fight all over again. Some of you don't believe that, but believe me, I was there when Jim Crow was in. I was there, and I've been here now. I can see the same droppings of Jim Crow coming back to visit us, and we better protect our lives. People, you better wake up. 214-395-6852 is that number. Call those people And she said it was a good class. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have mine, but I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get mine because I know good and well things can happen to me just like anybody else. It can happen to all of us. I'm gonna get mine. I don't have them yet, but I'm going. Hey, y'all, the preacher packing. Yeah, the preacher show is gonna be packing. Yes, so I am. And there are very few people as studied and well knowledgeable of Scripture as I am. Very few. But I do know God gave us common sense to protect ourselves. And we need to do that. All right, 972-647-1893. Which one is next? Is that what is Kathy on line 1? Give me Kathy. All righty. All right.
Yes,
good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. How are you?
Fine. You doing all right?
Yes, sir, I am. I was thinking about this George Zimmerman case in the context of what's been going on across our state legislatures regarding the pro-life and them trying to do away with the Roe v. Wade and abortion laws, as if they are concerned, really and truly concerned about life. If these folks were truly concerned about life, why wouldn't they have gone down to Sanford, Florida, and joined all of those civil rights leaders and protested the loss of the life of this child? Because this was an innocent life as well.
This is what those pro-lifers get me. They love you until you're born.
Until you're born, somebody's got to take care of you, and then they're ready to throw you away. And never mind the fact that you are a child of color, they really don't care about you then.
Yeah, but they still love him until he's born. They would have loved Trayvon, I guess, from conception to 9 months. But once he came out of his mother's womb, the thrill is gone. They're ready to kill him.
Isn't that amazing?
That's what get the hypocrisy of that whole thing.
Yes, sir. It certainly
They don't want to feed the children. They don't want to give them health insurance.
No education.
Not a good education. None of these things after they are born. Oh, but we want to protect them in the womb. Oh, please. Just a bunch of hypocrites.
It is. And I want to know, I wonder what kind of financial interest there is behind this, because you got to know there's some kind of financial, economic boon for them after this.
You hit the nail on the head. Follow the money, and you'll see exactly the source. Follow the money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you realize out of certain big trials we've had over the years, in the last 20 years or so, the industries have grown out of that?
Yes.
Look at the industries that grew out of O.J. Simpson's trial.
Exactly.
All that. Look at the people that have made mega bucks. Take the Kardashians. Where did they come from?
The O.J. Simpson trial, Robert Kardashian. But here was my big one. Rev Marion, guess who he had on his show?
Who was that?
Marsha Clark from the O.J. Simpson trials. Oh my God!
Well, she's made a fortune. She wrote books and done everything. She was on TV. What was that? MSNBC last night. They had her on there and everything. She's making money off of the O.J. Simpson trial. Industries have gone. Everything. So everything that happened, follow the money, and you see you'll see where everything is, where everything is coming from. All right, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
That closes the line 972-647-1893. Who did I have? Go to line 4. Do I have somebody on line 4? Yeah. Okay, line 4 is blinking. I'm not sure. Is that Adam?
Adam's on 3. On 2.
Adam's on 2.
That's Joe. Got it.
Joe is on 4. All righty. Good morning, Joe. No, Joe is not answering to 4.
3. Go to line 3.
Go to line 3. Who do we have on 3?
This is Reverend Crenshaw here.
All right. Good morning, Reverend Crenshaw. How are you this morning?
We really had an interesting conversation today. Very invigorating.
Thank you.
You know, when so many whites were saying they were going to vote against Obama, they actually got behind that curtain and they pulled the arm for Obama, for Mr. Obama. And another thing, you know, when they had the white robes, the Ku Klux Klan and all, and even Muslims, they have these white robes. When you step into and when you step into a courtroom, they change into black robe.
Yeah.
And that means the same thing. Kids see a black robe, he's scared to death. So they're already briefed him. Now, you say maybe it was because of the 800-pound gorilla. I mean, the elephant in the room. But there's the 800-pound gorilla to go along with that elephant. And the gorilla will fight you where the elephant can't move that fast. Okay? They traded, you know, you've heard this before, they traded James S. Crow to James S. Crow Jr.
James S. Crow Esquire?
Yeah, James S. Crow Esquire Jr.
Yeah, he's wearing sharp suits now. Yeah.
Yeah, he wears a suit, briefcase, and he's dressed in black robe, like I say. And so people don't know what to look for. These kids nowadays, they go to court and say, one of us will be in there in that black robe looking down on you. So they're scared to death to say anything.
Yeah.
They have travel. But I just want to institute those two little
All righty.
tips.
All right, we thank you, sir.
God bless you.
The one thing that's puzzling to me is the level of scrutiny on this case, and that's reasonable doubt. And let me explain that when in terms of a black male, and this is what the defense attorney is striving at. He says reasonable doubt, and he said they have to get you beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, if you're black, the first view of a racist is ain't nothing about you reasonable. And where you're concerned, he ain't got no doubt about your guilt or where you stand. So when he sets the bar at reasonable doubt with you being black, you're already guilty. Because he don't see you as being reasonable, and where you concerned, he don't have no doubt about how he feel about you. So
he doesn't even see you as being human.
As human. So when they set the bar at reasonable doubt and you're dealing with racist folks, we in trouble, people. Wake up. We in trouble.
All right, 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Adam. All righty, good morning, Adam.
Oh, good morning. Listen, you got a great show going on here. I'm traveling up to Gainesville and really appreciate the talk that's going on.
All righty.
I just got a quick comment. I think one of the main things that we need to understand is both in Texas and in Florida, these are states that are run by whites that fear God, have a superiority complex, and don't like anybody else.
Did you say these folks fear God?
That's what they said.
But don't like that fear God, but are racist.
Do you believe these people really fear God? These people don't fear God. They really think they're gods. If it's fear God, they fear themselves. But
I'm gonna put it another way: they fear their God. Okay, and their God, they don't believe that their God is the same God for us. Okay, in other words, that's why the lady that was talking about the abortion thing is so right. They do fear God because they're over there fighting for infant life, but at the same time, just like you said, after 9 months, the thrill is gone.
Yeah,
and they want to forget about you and forget. I think they're going to find him innocent because that's just the way it is. And that's all I got to say. Thank you for your time.
I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. I'm not going to argue with you on it for 1 second whether about that, because you just might be right. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Joe. All righty. Yeah. Bring me up, Joe, on line 3. All right. He's busy with phone calls right now. Yeah. All right. We go ready.
The verdict. We're anxiously awaiting the verdict. People are in awe. This is the OJ trial of the millennium. Folks are waiting on the verdict to see where it stands. Where will you stand? Which side are you on? How do you see the case? How is it that we are all looking at the same thing, but we have different opinions? How is it that we're all hearing the same thing, but we understand, our comprehension and our understanding is not the same.
Well, when they don't want to be the same, they don't want to believe this. They want the aura of that they are pure, they're godly, they're holy, and they're just a supreme and superior race. Now, you still have people like that.
Yes, you do.
And they cannot show any fallibility. I was looking at TV the other day, and they brought this woman. What was this woman named that killed all her children, 5 children or so?
Andrea Yates.
Andrea Yates. They said this man got on there and said, "Oh no, she's not really evil. She's a good person. She's really a good person." Drowned 5 of her children. But now, do you think a black woman be a good woman if she drowned 5 of her children?
Not only that, the lady Deanna Slosser up in Plano that cut her baby's arms off.
Cut her children's arm off.
Is out. She's
released. Out.
She was in Terrell. She was working at a Walmart in Terrell. They tracked her down and found her, and she is released. This is the only country in the world where a man shot the president. Do y'all know that?
I know who the guy you're talking about.
He's out. John Hinckley Jr. is out amongst the free world. Yeah. He is free. No, he's not in jail anymore.
He shot the president.
Shot the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. Tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's free.
Yeah.
People, wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up.
All righty. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Joe. All righty. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Rev Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Real quickly, I went through this with a relative of mine out in West Texas back in the 70s. They integrated the black high school. Had the whites to go there.
What city was this?
Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock? Is that when they sent all those kids to Estacada?
Yeah, that's
From
right.
Dunbar?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Dunbar. That was integrated. They busted the whites into Dunbar.
And those kids left Dunbar, went to Estacada. They were happy during the football season because the first year they sent all the blacks over, they won the state championship.
There you go. That's what happened.
Oh, I remember that like it was yesterday. Uh-huh.
But let me tell you what happened in 1972. This white boy, my cousin, who was 16 at the time, got into it over a pack of cigarettes. White boy had his friend to take him home to get a 38. Came back and saw Chesty walking down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Blew him away. Black Panthers demanded that the sheriff let him see that he was locked up. I mean, the same scenario. Because he was out. Had the trial, found him guilty, and let me tell you what happened when they found him guilty. He got 5 years. In the same paper that was published, a man killed another man, so got 8 years. And some of the people that rioted, they were upset. They got guilty of civil disobedience. They got 12 and 15 years. So, figure it out.
You say he got 5 years for shooting a kid down in the hall of a school.
For killing him.
For
taking
killing
his life.
Yeah, coming down. Yeah, he was down the streets at that time. He killed
in the
him.
hallway. In the hallway of the school building.
Premeditated murder.
And that was premeditated. Because he went home.
And came back.
And came back. He had plenty of time to think about what he had to do. Well,
So
what he
you
was going to do.
Just figure out. Just know how this is going to play out. Thank you.
Well, I really hope for the best in this, but I wouldn't put any money on him being found guilty. I wouldn't put a dime on that. There is no way that we know. And we still, in America, is falling short as a general public. You're going to tell me they could not find one African American to serve on their jury? They couldn't find one?
No.
You can't find anybody that's going to be fair in America but white people? And you find one Hispanic? See, that's an insult in the whole situation. That's a total insult.
Yes, it is. But let me give you a caveat to that. One trial here in Dallas County, a man got his case thrown out because he said the jury was not a jury of his peers because there was not a African American on the jury.
Yeah.
But now let me tell you the kicker.
I tell you what. We done forgot something.
Oh, the job line.
Let's do job line right quick. We got about 30 seconds. Give us the job line.
DHL is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.dp-dhl.jobpartners.com. Once again, that's DHL is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at dp-dhl.jobpartners.com. Quality Edge is looking for production and warehouse associates. They're asking you to email your resume to Annette, ANNETTE, at qualityedge.com. Once again, that email address to email your resume to Annette, ANNETTE, at qualityedge, QUALITYEDGE.com. Cardinal Health is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.cardinal, CARDINAL, HLTH.TALEO.net career section. Once again, Cardinal Health is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.cardinal, HLTH.TALEO.net career section. LabCorp is looking for warehouse workers and drivers. They're asking you to apply online at www.labcorpcareers.com. Once again, LabCorp is looking for warehouse workers and drivers. They're asking you to apply online at www.labcorpcareers.com. Arizona Tile is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.arizonatile.com.
I tell you what, Greg, we're completely out of time. If you get me that, and they can call me at 972-290-4995, I will get this over to you. I'll give it to you online. I'll fax it over to you. We thank you for this job line. Great job, as always. Thanking all of you for listening, all of you for calling, and being a part of this program. And again, I admonish everyone, go get your concealed handgun license. Get your license, and protect yourself, because I don't know what's going to happen here. If this decision go right or wrong, I don't know what's going to happen. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. Coming next as Workers Beat. Stay tuned to all the great programming here on KNON. You're welcome to our Heavenly Joy Church, Bruton and Master, 11 o'clock Sunday morning. Come by and see us. Bye-bye.
Stop by the church sometime. You want to stop.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.